Joined now, as we are on Thursdays, by Rob Williams. Rob, the hockey guy, the national sports editor of the Daily Hive and its Offside Sports Vertical. And Rob, 18 years, 18 years since the Canucks were this good in the season's first month.
David Quadrelli and Harmon Dale were 5 years old, I believe. The last time the Vancouver Canucks started with a record better than this one's.
You could barely have a quote-unquote Canucks convo with them at that point. They would.
That's right.
Just mastering the language.
So we shouldn't have them on to reminisce about the 05-06 Canucks, is what you're saying.
I feel like Quadrelli probably could tell you something about Alex Ald's positioning or something, but
that's right. That was the Alex Ald year, right?
Yeah.
He won team MVP.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The start was under Cloutier, and then Cloutier got hurt, and then I think all of their top 3D got hurt, and they ended up missing the playoffs. So hopefully this season doesn't follow that blueprint. But yeah, guys, it's been a long time, and I think people are very surprised to hear like that those 2010, 2011 teams. Remember, Luongo always had the slow Octobers. None of those great teams that we watched back then had a start like this. 6-2-1. I think there's a lot of reason to be excited, but I think everyone's still kind of wondering, like, is this for real? Like, is this gonna continue? And I think there's a lot of great signs. Rick Tocchet, I think, has everyone buying in, and their star players are playing great. There's that big question mark on defense though still, and that's, I think, the biggest threat to their season at the moment.
Yeah, so small sample size so far. We'll see what the sample size looks like at American Thanksgiving and at the end of the month. But you've already got and there's so much talk of scuttlebutt out there about the Canucks looking to bolster this team already, reward the player group, add a missing piece, and you've got a former Canuck in your crosshairs on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, okay, are they going to add? Look, it sounds like they're trying to add a player to this roster. They're gonna, whatever they do, they're gonna have to clear cap space, and then there's also the question, okay, what can they give up? So to me, you're not going to be. To me, they're not in a position to be trading away first round picks or any of that crazy talk. Maybe they'll consider it, but I don't know if that's the solution. To me, the guy that seems to be the perfect fit for them is Chris Tanev. He can play with Quinn Hughes. He's a right shot D, kills penalties, can move the puck, like can play with anyone. Right now, he's 34 now. Just looking at the numbers, not like a lot of guys on Calgary, not having an amazing start to the season. Maybe that means you get him a little cheaper than you would have 1 year ago. If you're the Calgary Flames, I don't think they're, the way their season is going, unless they turn things around dramatically, I don't see Tanev as a guy that they should be re-upping. They're already deep on the right side. So to me, why not kind of right a wrong, right? Like he was kind of all those guys that they let go in that in 2020. I think Tanev is really the one that got away. He's been exactly the type of player they've been missing for the last 4 years. He's got a modified no trade clause, but you'd have to imagine with a new management group here, one that he maybe didn't, I don't know if he felt insulted when he left. There was the reports that he didn't receive a contract offer, but there's a new management group in place here, and it's a city that he's familiar with.
The problem is, of course, it's a trade with Calgary, who would want to win the trade. They need to log some wins right now somewhere because they're not doing it in the standings. So that poses the difficulty there. And it's all coming from, I think, the management group wanting to surf this wave of optimism and continue to bolster the mood in the room too. That's probably pretty good because they're winning for the first time. But how about the mood in the stand? Like, do you feel like there's an event like atmosphere back at Rogers Arena on the nightly you're there? I mean, anecdotally, nobody's giving away tickets like they were the last few years here, Rob. So, what has been the result here, do you think, for the Canucks organization?
Well, I mean, I've seen it looked like there were some people dressed up as maroon seats at Rogers Arena. So there are a few empty seats. So it's not like the people are banging the doors down to get in. But there's typically a bit of a delay with team success and then having the fans follow. So I don't think that's unusual.
They did another student night.
100% right, Rob. And you see them advertising individual games. I think what's happened here is those who have Canucks season tickets are getting more and more requests from people to go to games. I'm not necessarily sure those who don't are rushing out to buy them.
That's step
Yeah.
two.
Just
That's step
yet.
two in
Yeah,
the
that's,
process.
that's the next signal that we're looking for.
But guys, like, this market is starved for a winner with the Canucks. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that the fan base is beginning to get excited about this team, about just having a team that's in the mix. I mean, hey guys, we're here. Meaningful games in November. We've done it.
Yeah.
like this, this fan base is absolutely starved to see a team get to I don't know about what the next level is, but to another level, like a team that they can watch and be emotionally invested in, and just see them compete and have a team that they like watching. And I think right now this team they're doing, the Canucks are holding up their end of the bargain. So absolutely, as the more that they can continue this run, the more and more excited the fan base is going to be with the Vancouver Canucks, and I'm sure they'll be showing up to Rogers Arena with even more and more excitement. But yeah, to answer your question, Blake, I feel like there's definitely more buzz in the building right now than on many moments last year. I mean, remember last year, like, they didn't even get through game one at home.
Yes.
Without the fan base basically revolting. Like, it was like we've never seen anything like that before. So
Well, there was
Sure,
a lot,
way
there
ahead
was
of
a lot
last
of
year.
revolting. There was a lot of revolting.
And I will say, we can report the buzz down there in row one behind the visitors bench.
Oh, yeah.
is real.
Scintillating.
The buzz in the Piero Mineta row is for sure. It is up there. It is acute.
do you guys?
Felt like
I didn't hear if you guys did. You guys have anything to report from like the behind the bench? This is like, I didn't see any like tweets from you guys like offering like what the game plan was from the opposing coach.
yeah, that was the thing. You would think you would be able to hear them, but
It's sealed.
that's really thick glass.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't hear anything. And it's sealed. It's fully caulked in between the panes, so you can't hear anything.
Yeah, you know what? That was the COVID edition, right? The COVID addition to the glass, so there's
Right.
glass all the way around the tunnel now.
Yeah. You could hear Berube a little bit when he called the timeout and reamed them out. And I heard him one other time yell at Kyrou to shoot the puck. But like Steve Ott, their assistant coach, was right in front of us talking to Berube all night. Couldn't hear a damn thing.
It was a mime work.
But
yeah.
of course, part of that was the buzz of the crowd, the pitch, the fever. It's back.
Speaking of the appetite for winning, though, isn't BC Place an example of that right now, Rob, with those two teams forcing the opening of the upper deck for their playoff games? I mean, that's unprecedented stuff.
I'm so excited about it. I mean, I just love to see the Whitecaps and the Lions thriving, and looks like the Whitecaps are now over. They gave a attendance update. They're over 24,000 seats sold. So that's really exciting stuff. Still a few days out from the match. I'm gonna be at all three games this weekend, guys. I'm going Lions across the street, the Canucks, and then I'm going Whitecaps the next day. So.
Wow.
I think it's great stuff. Like, how many losing teams have we had to endure in this city that people were just so checked out on, and now having three teams all winning kind of at the same time. Like, I'm sort of like cross my fingers as I say this about Vancouver sports teams, because you're just always conditioned for something to go wrong. But the Lions and Whitecaps have had two really good seasons, and it's nice to see the fan base respond to that and get excited for playoff games. I know that CFL playoffs and MLS playoffs, like, every time that I've been to them in the past, like, there really is an uptick in buzz and excitement in the crowd, and it's and the great thing about those two teams is they don't jack the ticket prices that way up for the playoffs. So it's always I always say to people, I'm like, it's really good bang for your buck to go to a playoff game for the Whitecaps and Lions.
Lions have done Underdome, and they've done incredible work in terms of setting ticket prices at affordable that are affordable, because I think that is one of the other things that's holding the Canucks back right now, is that the cost of living in this economy is just very, very difficult for a lot of families. One more BC Place question. Taylor Swift, you think she'll open the upper deck?
getting word this morning she's going to open up the upper deck.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Breaking
demand.
news.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Only for one of the three, maybe, though. There's 3 concerts.
Yeah, I would suggest not dawdling on those tickets. If you want to go, I think you need to be.
Can we get like $5 margaritas and $5 beers on the Terry Fox Plaza?
Party on the
for that as
plaza?
well?
I think that'll probably happen.
Lastly, Robin, we were looking at this ourselves. Elias Pettersson, if you project the sort of season, maybe not that Pettersson is on pace for right now, because that's like 140, and that's probably a little rich. But if you project a season for Pettersson like he had last year, he could be in the top 10 all-time Canucks scorers by the end of the season. It is truly incredible how many people he could pass this season.
I mean, he's already passed Cliff Ronning on the all-time list. He's into 20th place in all-time Canucks scoring now. And like, you look at the list of guys ahead of him: Patrick Sundstrom, Greg Adams, Petri Skriko, Alex Burrows. I mean, Alex Burrows played 822 games. Pettersson could pass him playing half as many games. Guys like Andre Boudria, Brendan Morrison, Ryan Kessler. He could pass. It's not out of the realm of possibility. He could pass Bo Horvat this season and be into the top 10 in scoring. There's a lot of guys. That have played a lot of games and scored a lot of points, that Pettersson's really just getting ready to. I think he's going to be passing a lot of them. Unless something unforeseen happens, he's quickly climbing that list.
Well,
he is precisely 81 points behind Bo Horvat right now.
Yeah.
So if he were to go 81 from here, he'd be in that tie for 10th with Bo.
Credit Lord Humongous on Canucks Twitter yesterday, pointing out 6 Canucks players in history have had 60 assist seasons, and one of them was 50 years ago in Andre Boudria. The other 2 are in the Hall of Fame,
right?
And then the 3 remaining are all on this team now.
Right.
I mean, there is some high end skill that could demolish a lot of the Canuck records of yesteryear.
And of course, Quinn Hughes is ready to just absolutely blow every defenseman record out of the water.
Yeah, for sure.
Lower bar there, but man, I mean, Hughes is just going to just destroy all of those. That's why I highlighted Pettersson, just because I feel like the Hughes one is just, I think people are just like resigned to know that he's just going to absolutely hold every defenseman record.
Rob, fun stuff this week. Thanks for this. Get your Taylor Swift ticket plan in order, and we'll catch up next Thursday.
Sounds great.
In order, the players that Pettersson is looking to surpass on all-time Canucks scoring: Sundstrom, Adams, Skriko, Burrows, Boudria, Morrison, Kessler, Lever, Edler, Horvat. It's probably too big an ask to get to Bertuzzi, because Bertuzzi is 29 points better than Horvat. And that would be 110 points from here.
There's a reason enough to extend him. This Sekeres Price clip brought to you by Applewood Auto Group. And remember,
it's all good at Applewood.